Okay, so today we're going to go through rules of indices. Okay, I can see that you can't read this, I'll just rewrite this. Rules of indices. Okay, so this is the beginning of your A-level course for Edexcel and also probably OCR and AQA as well. Now let's just write down some basic rules. We should have learned this in year 8, 9, 10, but we're going to just briefly go through these and add a couple more just to kind of recap everything. So first rule is, so if you got a power a to the x times a to the y, that is same as a to the x plus y. Okay, and if you have a to the x divided by a to the y, that is a to the x minus y. This sometimes is written as a to the x over a to the y. That's the same thing, over means divide, so a to the x minus y. So that can be written in that form as well. Okay, and the other rule is a to the minus x is same as 1 over a to the x. Okay, and then a to the 1 over x means the xth root of a. Okay, now this is something you might not be familiar with, but let me just show you something. So if you got a to the half, that's same as square root of a. If you got a to the 1/3, that's same as cube root of a. So I hope that clears any issues you had with that. Okay, maybe I'll go through some examples in details in a minute. And the other rule is a to the y over x is same as xth root of a to the y. Okay, so let me just write that at the top. Okay, so what I wrote there was a to the x or a to the y over x, so that's same as a to the y and the x root of it. So just to give you an example, so 2 to the 3 over 4 is same as 2 to the 3 and the 4th root of that. Obviously 2 to the 3 is 8, so then the 4th root of 8. I hope that clears it. I mean, it's not going to come up that often, but it may come up in any question really, and it might not be a direct question from indices. It might be a question in differentiation, or it could be a question in integration, or further down the line in any of those chapters. So it's good to kind of clear up these index rules before you go into later sections of the C1 textbook. Okay, so let's just write down a couple more rules. So if you have a to the x to the y, that's same as a to the xy. So for example, 2 to the 3 to the 5 is same as 2 to the power of 15. Or if you want to do 3 to the minus 2 to the 5, that would be 3 to the power of minus 10, and that's same as 1 over 3 to the 10, using one of the other rules. Okay? And final rule I'm going to teach you is anything to the power of 0 is 1. So x to the 0 is 1, y to the 0 is 1, a to the 0 is 1, 1000 to the 0 is 1, so any number to the 0 is 1. You should know this already from GCSE knowledge, but there you go. So those are the rules of indices. So now let's try and do some questions from what we learned here today. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions written down here. So let me just pick a random question and let's see if we can do it. Okay, So I have a question here. So let's say we have 3x cubed y to the half over 27x to the half y to the 5. Okay, so you're not going to get any more tricky questions than this. I hope this is clear. This is half here and this is half there. So let's rewrite this. So you can see, so what I do, I just draw a line here. Okay, let me just write it here actually because this is clearer. So what I first do, let's just sort out the number bits. So you can clearly cancel this 3 against this 27, so that's 9 there, that's 1. So that means there's going to be a 9 at the bottom. Now x to the 3 divided by x to the half is same as 3 take away half, which is 2.5. So that's going to be x to the 5 over 2 at the top, because 3 minus half is 2.5. 2.5 is same as 5 over 2. I'm not going to explain mixed fractions and improper fractions. You should already know if you are doing A-level maths. If you need to know mixed fractions and improper fractions, I'm sure there are plenty of videos on YouTube, and also I may do a video later for the GCSEs about this, so you might want to have a look at it if you're struggling with fractions, and you shouldn't really be in this course. Okay. Now let's look at this one. So I have y to the half at the top, y to the 5 at the bottom. So half minus 5 is minus 4.5, which is same as minus 9 over 2. Now obviously it's a bottom heavy, so minus 9 over 2, y to the minus 9 over 2 means 1 over y to the minus 1 over y to the 9 over 2, so that means it just goes at the bottom as 9 over 2. And that's my answer. So it's x to the 5 over 2 over 9, y to the 5, 9 over 2. So let me just go through that again. So we had a question which was 3x cubed y to the half over 27x to the half y to the 5. And that is same as x to the 5 over 2 over 9 to the y, 9 over 2. The way we got x to the 5 over 2 is we did x cubed divided by x to the half, which is same as x to the 5 over 2, and then the 3 and the 27 cancel to get 9 there, and then here y to the 5 and y to the half, that gives you y to the 9 over 2 at the denominator. Now if you can't do these fractions directly in your head, in the side of your book you can just write, so you need to do here 3 minus half, which is same as, if you put the common denominator 2, so 2 times 3 is 6 minus 1, which is 5 over 2. And the other one is half minus 5. So if you put the common denominator again, so that's going to be 1 minus 2 times 5 is 10, which is minus 9 over 2. So y to the power of minus 9 over 2 is same as over y to the 9 over 2, because the minus power can go down as I explained in index rules. You can leave the answer like this, or you could write it in one line if you want to, like this. So this is same as x to the 5 over 2, y to the minus 9 over 2, all over 9. You could write it like that if you want, but leaving it in that form is perfectly acceptable. So I hope this is clear. If it's not clear, please send me a message or write a comment at the bottom and I'll explain it in more detail. And there will be a video to follow, and that will have factorization and rationalizing the surd for A-level maths. Okay, so I'll see you in that video.